All right, hello. This is a special Feast Like Odin presentation. I'm Will, and I'm here with Jeff.
Hello, everyone.
Feast Like Odin is a podcast where we try to pair sort of entertainment from the action, adventure, science fiction, fantasy genres, and pair them with food. We're very excited about it, and it's going pretty well. And anyway, we do have to make choices that really most people can't make, which is like which of these crazy heroes or action heroes or whatever do we talk about first? Where do we possibly start? I mean, do we do small soldiers? Do we do, dare I say, Lord of the Rings? Um,
That's the
and
brass ring right there.
and
That's a mountain to climb, my friend.
and people we just got into fall. I mean, is there a better time? So we might push that up to the front. That being said, we are both big Green Arrow fans, and we
Yeah.
wanted to we got to put a shout out um, in this box that we're making, I guess.
Oh yeah.
So I actually my Green Arrow fandom actually like I actually like went up a rung of Green Arrowness between Smallville, which featured Justin Hartley's Green Arrow, and of course the Stephen Amell Green Arrow that we may I think we'll probably see again.
I
The
really hope so. I
Yeah,
really do.
so
I love
yes.
that you use the term going up a rung because it's so iconic to watch Stephen Amell do the Icarus ladder.
I was like
um,
I was just like I just literally like that was off the dome, I guess. I don't
yeah.
know what to say,
No,
but
that was perfect. That was
yeah.
absolutely perfect. I don't think I'm alone in saying. I mean, I'm a bit of I'm a bit of a neophyte when it comes to it. The my introduction to the Arrowverse was the series Arrow, and I really there's a real soft spot in my heart for that iteration of Oliver Queen. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's just sort of like it is like a bit darker, but it was right for the times. I mean,
I think it was very right for the
you
times.
could really tell from the first episode, you were like, oh yeah, this is the version that I would probably respond to the
Yeah.
best right
Oh
now,
yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
Fight
no,
scenes are amazing,
the choreography is
amazing.
absolutely phenomenal.
And
And I know that I think I know it might be a hot take, but it is my take.
yeah,
That I've said to you before. I think that what Arrow did for DC in the context of creating this Arrowverse, allowing the spinoff, the amazing split spinoff that was the Flash, and countless others. Arrow and Oliver Queen and Steve Amell really did for DC what Iron Man did for Marvel
right,
way back in the day,
right.
establishing this shared
Yes.
universe in a way that DC had never really managed to capture before. And say what you will about some of the melodrama and everything of CW shows. I absolutely love tuning into the Arrow and
Yeah.
experiencing these spin-offs. And I really think that the groundwork that they laid with that series
Yeah.
can't be underplayed.
Yeah. I actually thought this is really random, but I actually thought season three was sort of where the best in terms of sort of taking that sort of like the CW element and mixing it in like a palatable way with, the DC-ness,
Yeah,
like and
yeah,
like, it was like I remember this like, like there's actually a line from you know, the the Black Canary character, Dinah, where she says, I know that a bar is like the worst place that I could be or something like that. And that's like really what I mean. It's just like, it's like if you put on a CW show and, and someone's going through an alcohol problem, and you're kind of like, okay, it's like,
yeah.
but like it just like for some reason the way they kind of wrapped all of that sort of like angst or whatever
Yeah.
into in season three was like really interesting to
I
me.
I really appreciated season three. I'm tempted to say that season three is my favorite season of
I am
Arrow.
also tempted to say that.
I do have this really weak soft spot in my heart though for Slade Wilson.
Well,
Uh,
of
and so
course.
I have to give props to season two, even though it is, I'll admit, arguably the weaker of the two between two and three, arguably the weaker of the
Well,
seasons.
actually,
But
I
seeing
of course that most
Deathstroke the
people.
Terminator in all of
So
his glory, and I don't think they could have cast that role any better. I will die on that
yes,
hill. This is the best iteration of Slade Wilson I've ever seen, and that
yeah.
probably comes from growing up. The OG animated Teen Titans was so instrumental in forming my societal ethos in my own head. So I really loved seeing Slade actualized in the way that Arrow managed to do so. So I will die on that hill. I absolutely love season two, no matter what anybody says.
Of course, I don't think there's nobody knocking season two as far as I know. I mean, I think Death spoiler, but Deathstroke kills Green Arrow's mom in in season two of the series, and that was the moment that I really tried to tell my comic book friends about. I was like, dude, you don't understand. Like,
Yeah.
they killed Green Arrow's mom, but all that. So, I hate to go through my own back catalog right here live, but I did get to interview uh one of the guy who like made Deathstroke's props.
Nice.
Yeah, man. And you know, I think like I was like overwhelmingly polite even by my own standards. I was just like fortunately the show is made in Canada and most of the crew is Canadian.
Nice.
So he matched me pound for pound in politeness. Um really appreciate this guy. I just pulled it up. Um oh my gosh. Did that come through, Jeff? Did you just hear like I'm sorry, I just played a video. 1 second. All right, 1 second. All right, Jeff, we're off the air for a second. It's still recording, but I'm not gonna include it.
Roger that. Yeah,
Or
sounds
maybe
good.
I will, and it'll be like sort of all right.
Some B-roll stuff. You never,
Well,
never, it never
well,
hurts to have the extra bit. It's like, this ended up on the cutting room floor, but we're still here to talk to you guys. Like,
yeah, dude, of course. Yeah, man, figuring all that out is gonna be awesome.
hell yeah,
All
hell
right,
yeah.
so I got a slating. This is my shout out to Aaron Harrison of Vancouver, Canada, who broke off time to talk with me about this great series and his work, sort of developing prop gear and weapons um, for uh, for Deathstroke's costume, among others. He was there for the whole show. He's done he's done several other shows that are on Netflix and Warner Brothers and etc. So thanks, Aaron Harrison. Um, where the F is his Instagram handle at Harrison Dark Arts, and there will be a thing. There will be links. We shall have links. Okay, so for food, uh, the comics, the Mike Grell run of comics that um, that Arrow did include a lot of. Um, well, I butchered that. 1 second, let me start over. All right, we tried to pair these things with food. And Mike Grell, who wrote a classic run of Green Arrow, uh, that 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 both shows I think utilized. uh, Mike Grell added this wrinkle, I think, of Green Arrow. The Green Arrow has his own chili recipe, basically, and he's like good at making chili. The Green Arrow or Oliver Queen or whatever.
Nice.
That's what he cooks in his rare and fleeting domestic life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously.
So Jeff, have you ever like made like just like started from scratch, made like chili?
All the time. I love making chili. And it's tough for me to spit out a recipe for chili just because okay, so when you're thinking about food, when you're thinking about the magic of cooking, when you're in the kitchen, you're in the zone, the thing that everyone romanticizes is that kind of like spark of the artiste, right?
Right.
Where you're going all and you just go completely off script. You're like, all right, I got my recipe here, but you know what? Here's the magic. We're gonna grab something off the spice rack. And to me, that's not how it is 100% of the time. That's not even how it is like 20% of the time. Nine times out of 10, you do want to stick mostly to those recipes, and you realize where you can wiggle a little bit. But that level of magic, that like,
Hmm.
oh,
Hmm.
I'm gonna go completely off rails. To me, that's chili. So
Yep.
I haven't quite hammered down like a point by point recipe for my own
Right.
personal chili yet, just because I am so often taken into the zone. I will say my favorite so far, I've made a phenomenal meatless chili, actually.
No way.
Um, yeah, I use
I
sweet
guess you're a
potatoes.
communist.
Yes. Hey man, hey, I do what I can to save on my health a little bit here and there. There is absolutely nothing wrong with a full beef chili. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful flavor there. But the nice part about chili,
I
personally,
felt good for some reason to say that to you.
no, that's fair.
To
That's
call you a
fair.
communist based on literally nothing.
Based on the fact I'm not eating red meat. But that aside, I think chili is so well seasoned and flavored in general. It's very it's a very powerful flavor palette. I don't know
Yeah.
that you necessarily need the meat. I think personally, meat chili and meatless chili to me
Yeah.
end up being roughly on the same level. And that's not to say that I want one versus the other. It's like, what I'm in the mood for. But I think that even a meatless chili, I don't think it suffers so much from losing that flavor because there are so
Yeah.
many other flavors in the chili. Um, but yeah, no, I use sweet potatoes as the base to keep a good body to the chili so that you're not losing that hardiness of the of what is essentially a stew. Um, I like to use some cocoa powder for more color than anything, but that little touch of sweetness
Hmm.
really goes a long way with some of the spicier and more powerful flavors. I know that I am going to come off as basic when I say this, but I am in the process of experimenting
Hmm.
with both chili and shepherd's pie
Whoa.
with pumpkin puree. Um, there are a couple of
Whoa.
reasons for adding pumpkin there that I don't
All right,
necessarily
so
bear getting into.
let's stay in the chili realm, right? You're doing
Yeah.
pumpkin puree. What would you say the ratio is of chili to pumpkin puree?
So full disclosure, there is only one way to make chili in my mind, and that is by the
Hmm.
gallons. Uh, I don't
Wow.
scale down a chili recipe. I just have chili for like six
Interesting.
days.
I wouldn't know. Yeah.
Um,
Well, duh. I
there's
mean,
no
yeah.
personal that
Right.
you could technically do it, but there's no like, oh, I'm gonna make a single bowl of chili for dinner tonight. It's like no, it's I'm feeding an army or I'm feeding myself for like a week when I'm making chili. It's the same thing when I'm
Yeah.
making bolo. Um,
Yeah.
but
I'm suddenly
so
self-conscious about my posture as we talk about these like modern day ninjas, you know? Like all I could not do I actually I've done like extra work like on some films and stuff like that. And one time like I actually touched a stunt guy by accident. Those people are so like
rock solid.
they're
Yeah.
actually like like it's crazy. Like they are like stunt people are
Oh
very
yeah.
fit. I know that is obvious or whatever, but
Well,
I mean, it's like
it's likely
it's
one of those things that
obviously gone
people.
up a notch in past few decades,
Oh yeah.
the past 5 years or whatever.
Yeah. No, I mean, well,
So
that's likely something people don't often think about, though. You know what I mean?
no,
Because like stunt performers are so they're in the background. Like they swap in and they do the dangerous stuff, and you think, oh,
yeah,
that was cool, and then you move on as a viewer. But they do the most dangerous stuff, so of
yeah,
course they have to be
right,
that much stronger and that much more resilient because they are
yeah,
putting themselves through these like rigorous moments, these rigorous snapshots of what they
yeah,
have to do. So I can't even imagine the workout regimen and the training that has to go into to being a
yeah,
stunt
dude.
performer.
So we're definitely gonna follow up this Green Arrow chili conversation
Yeah,
several more times.
I'll refine this
Um,
recipe and we'll have a better
I'm
we'll
really
have a
looking
better go
forward
to.
to it. Yeah, we do want to do some outdoor stuff as part of the series, and my experience reading those Mike Grell Green Arrow books um, that are out there, people. Um, you know, they really sort of boosted my appreciation of nature, to be honest with you. And as far as I know, Mike Grell created the character Shadow, um,
Okay.
played by Celina Jade. So little reaction moment, but I actually met her. I met her one time.
No kidding.
She's like the star of some indie film that's like set in Queens. I got to read the script, which was a total get for me. The movie's called April Flowers. The script was fantastic. I mean, it, you know, I mean, it's the right time for that movie to come out. It's sort of like, yeah, I hope they had a good production overall. You never know with an independent production filmed in New York City. But the, I haven't seen the movie. It's gonna come out. Let me start that over. But
Okay.
yeah, no. So yeah. Anyway, there's plenty more Shadow. If you like that character, you got to check out these Mike Grell books. It starts with Longbow Hunters, and you know, and he was on that series for a long, long, long time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and like I really, when I read those books, and actually, like it's the same with the TV series. You think of being involved with one character for a long time, like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, right on. So we made our little clip. We got Green Arrow in there. We got Chili in there. Um, we would love to shout out more from the series, but I think like 4,000 plus people worked on it. So give us some time.
Yeah.
We'll get deeper into all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely revisiting this one.
we got our shout outs on the board. All right, so all right, cool. I'm gonna stop that one. That was great.
Hell yeah.
All right, so